Hi! This instructional video is all about negative and zero exponents. Negative and zero exponents. Specifically, we're going to simplify all the expressions dealing with zero exponents and negative exponents. You were taught in elementary school that any base, just that base with the exponent raised to a zero, is simply 1. And this is very, very true. Okay? So, here's a base. Even though it's not a whole number like an 8 on number 1, it's a quotient, it's a fraction, but the whole thing is raised to a 0. So therefore, guess what that becomes? Yeah, still 1. Now here's the situation. What is the exponent of that base x? That's a 0. So x to the 0 power becomes 1. However, that 4 does not have a 0. You see, unlike number 2 where it is surrounded by a parentheses, 4 and x, they're two separate numbers. So 4 does not have a 0, so it's just 4 times 1, which was x to the 0. Now your final answer should be just 4. There it is. So now can you guess what this should be? Number 4? Yeah, the exponent 0 is applied to all the terms inside of parentheses only. So this entire term inside of parentheses become 1. However, what about this number outside of parentheses, 2x? Well, that's just part of the solution. So 2x times 1 is 2x. And that's the final answer for number 4. Are you starting to see the game here? How about this one? Yeah, you see, again, the exponent 0 is applied to everything inside of parentheses. So this entire term becomes 1. So what do you have left? It's just negative 5x squared and 6x. So if you looked at the last video where we talked about the rules of exponent, x squared times x to the first, you add the exponent to become x to the third. And the coefficients, negative 5 and 6, multiply them to become negative 30. Times this 1, but since anything times the 1 is itself, your answer is just negative 30x cubed. There it is. Everything that has to do with the exponent zeros. Now, how about negative exponent? Okay, now there's something unique about negative exponents. Let's think of it this way. A negative exponent tells you that that base is in a wrong place. So this number, if you think about it, it can be written as 4 to the negative second power all over 1. Remember, any whole number can be written in a form of a fraction over the 1. So since negative exponent tells you that this base is in the wrong place, it has to go downstairs. So it becomes 1 over 4 squared. Where did that 1 come from? Well, it's the invisible factor 1 remaining. Just get used to the pattern first and you'll see how things work. And if you wanted to, you could say that this is, of course, 1 over 16. But this is also a good answer. The number 7. Yeah, if you said, well, this is 1 over 3 to the negative 5, you just told me that the negative exponent means that the base is in the wrong place. This time, it has to go upstairs. So that should be written as 3 to the positive 5 now. That's it. What about the 1? Well, 1 times 3 to the 5th is just 3 to the 5th. So you don't even need to bother writing that. What if you have a fraction? If you said, well, the 3 and the 7, if the negative 2 goes to it, it means they're both in the wrong place. Well, here's a simple way of looking at it. If you see a fraction instead of parentheses with negative exponent, you just take the reciprocal, flip the whole quotient over so it becomes 7 over 3. They're both now in the right place, raised to a second power. Positive. Now you remember this one? Just like on number 4 and number 3. The negative 2 only applies to the x, not to the 5. So 5 stays. Who goes down? Is the base with the negative exponent. So it becomes x to the positive second. As it goes down, exponent becomes positive. Ah, this is the right place now, and becomes happy. Who's not happy here? That's right, it's the one with the negative 2. So it needs to go down. These folks are happy. So they stay. 7 to the x to the 5 over x to the, now it's happy. But wait! Isn't this from the other video where we talked about if we're dividing the bases, what are you supposed to do with your exponent? You're supposed to subtract. So the smaller exponent goes to the bigger x and subtract. So your final answer should be 7x to the 5 minus 2, which is 3. We're going to have to practice more on this one when we come to the classroom. Now here, it's asking you to go backwards. 5 to the third power, he's happy. But he's making you write it as a negative exponent and bring it up. So as 5 to the third goes up, I don't want to go there, that's not my place. Well, get up there. And it becomes 5 to the negative third. Basically, we're trying to write it without the fraction. Here, 8 stays. X to the 6, I don't want to go there. Go there. And what happens to the exponent? Becomes negative 6. How about this one? But there's no exponent. Yeah, there is. Remember the 1? So it becomes 1 times 2 to the negative 1, or simply 2 to the negative 1 power. And how about this guy? You got it. Negative 3 times x to the, not 5 anymore, negative 5. It's like you having to, when your mom takes you to the hospital to get a shot, you don't want to go there? Ah, same kind of a feeling, huh? And how about this guy? He's happy, but again, we want to write it with a negative exponent. So we're going to send it downstairs. Who's left upstairs? Just the invisible factor 1 over 4 to the, I'm not happy here. Deal with it.